Are there 20 teams in the NFL that are better than the Seattle Seahawks this year? Well, according to Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports, there are. He has them at number 21 in his Yahoo Sports 2024 offseason power rankings. Now, I really wanted to break down everybody that's before them. So what I had to do is use process of elimination because he's only put out 21 through 32, but we can obviously figure out who those teams are ahead of the Seahawks, but we just don't know the order. Now, the teams that are below the Seahawks are 21. Then you have Vikings at 22, Chargers, Saints, Cardinals, Raiders, Titans, Giants, Commanders, Broncos, Patriots, Panthers as the last team. So they were pretty much in the best team in the group of bad teams is where Yahoo Sports has us. So obviously I put it on the sheet of all the team names and crossed off the teams that were mentioned, seeing who we're going to play, and tried to figure out how many wins would you have to be at to be considered the 21st-ish best or worst team, however you want to put it, the 21st team in the National Football League. And based on last year's standings, if you were going to be the 21st team in all of football, which we're going to just base it off record right now, you'd probably fall somewhere in that 7 or 8 win range. Like the Jets, who were 7-10, the Vikings at 7-10, Bears, Falcons, and then kind of at those spots right before the Bucks and Seahawks, who are 9-8, you had 2 8-9 teams, the Raiders and Broncos. And almost every team that I mentioned was on that list of the worst, teams that he had from 21 to 32. The only teams that made it out of that range compared to the standings last year was the Bears, who got Caleb Williams, and the Jets, who are going to have Aaron Rodgers back. They put the Saints and the Seahawks in that 21 to 32 range. Now, can the Seahawks win 8 or 9 games again? That's what's going to tell me if there are teams that are better, or if they should be ahead of 21 is pretty much what I'm saying. If there's actually 20 teams that are better than them. So obviously, I'm going to go through each team sort of, and I'm going to go through our schedule and who do we play. Well, one of those teams that are below the Seahawks are the Arizona Cardinals, and we play the Cardinals twice. So let's just say we beat every team that we are ranked higher than. That's 2 wins on the schedule. We play the Broncos. That's 3. We play the Patriots. They're on that list. That's 4. There's the Vikings. We play them. That's 5. And the Giants are on that list. That's 6. So 6 of our games are teams that are ranked below us. Interesting. And 2 of them, the Patriots and the Broncos, are our first 2 games. So let's say the Seahawks win their first 2 games. Then they have 2 tough ones against the Dolphins and the Lions. But then they play the Giants, another team that is on the list of these bad teams. If you win those 3 games and you start off the season 3-2, there should be a possibility of the Seahawks winning at least 6 more games to go throughout the season. Now, maybe if you don't want to base it off record, then fine. You might have an argument that there are 20 teams better than the Seahawks. But if you're going to base it on the end results, there's probably not going to be. There's probably not 20 teams better than the Seahawks, because when they start off 3-2, because they should beat the Broncos, Patriots, and Giants, and let's say they lost to the Dolphins and Lions, a 3-2 team, they should have some more wins as the season goes on. And you're playing the Cardinals twice, like I mentioned. You're playing the Vikings. You're playing the Bears, who, despite I think are going to be pretty decent, they do have a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. And you play the Jets in December. What's Aaron Rodgers' health? You play the Rams twice, obviously, in the division, but you can always win a division game. Same goes for the 49ers. You never know what happens in those spots. And the other teams that are playing outside the division, Green Bay is going to be a tough one, don't get me wrong, but it's at home. Buffalo's a tough one, but it's also at home, thankfully. And Atlanta on the road. Atlanta on the road is hit or miss. Is Kirk Cousins fully healthy? Are they disappointing as they've been the last couple of years? I think Kirk Cousins is a phenomenal fit for them, but we don't know how healthy he is. We don't know what the room is like when they bring in a guy like Michael Penix Jr. to pretty much compete with him, even though they paid him a lot of money. I'm just pretty much saying that there isn't, the most daunting games on the schedule is probably our division rival, the 49ers, are some of the most daunting ones on the schedule. And then, Monday Night Football in Detroit, that's, a tough game always. Obviously, the Bills is a little tough. Chicago on the day after Christmas on December 26th, Thursday Night Football. It could be snowing. It's freezing. If Caleb Williams is good, that's a tough one. But there's a lot of reasonable management that goes on the schedule, especially with 3 out of the first 5 games being teams that are ranked below us. Now, let's look at some of these other teams. This is alphabetical order. Obviously, the Arizona Cardinals are below us. You have the Atlanta Falcons. I could see the Seahawks and the Falcons both sitting somewhere around 8 or 9 wins in all reality. Baltimore Ravens, I'll give them the edge over the Seahawks. Bills, probably the same. The Bears are kind of in that Falcons situation. Okay, it's a new quarterback. Everything's new here. New coach, new systems. Why can't the Seahawks be in the same spot? While the Seahawks got a new coach, a lot of the things are staying the same. The quarterback, the offense. And this is where I think my confidence is a little higher maybe than the outside perception of people that aren't Seahawks fans, is because this offense is not changing that much. Obviously, the way it's going to be played is going to change. But we have our 3 receivers. We added to the tight end room not only Noah Fant, but Farrell Brown, and it's going to be a good room there. The running back room is good. The offensive line was worked on throughout the offseason and in the draft. It should be better. And Geno Smith is a fine quarterback to have there. He might have a better season than a rookie Caleb Williams. He might have a better season than a injured Kirk Cousins, or around the same season. Or if Kirk Cousins gets hurt, he might have a better season than a rookie Michael Penix Jr. So these are things you can't count out. With the Bengals, Browns, Cowboys, those teams are better than the Seahawks. Broncos, we are better. You go through a stretch here where you have the Lions, Packers, Texans, probably better teams than the Seahawks. Colts. Are the Colts really better than the Seahawks? What signs have pointed towards them being better than the Seahawks over the last few years? We're unsure about what's going to go on with their quarterback situation. I know Anthony Richardson is going to be a good quarterback or a good talent. He lasted 3 games. He's a little more fragile. He was using his body a lot. We don't even know if he's a top-notch quarterback or not yet. A team like the Colts, the Seahawks could be better than them or in the same range. The Jaguars, I'm probably a little higher on them than most guys because I like Trevor Lawrence, but we're probably in the same range. Chiefs, they're better than us. Raiders and Chargers, according to the power rankings, are worse than us, so I'm going to keep it there. Rams, they're probably a little bit better, but you never know when it comes to division and how their quarterback's 36, 37 years old almost, and Matthew Stafford, so you never know. Dolphins, probably better than us. Vikings, Patriots, Saints, Giants. We are better than those 4 teams, and the rankings have that. The New York Jets. They were 7-10, I believe, at the end of last year. Is Aaron Rodgers going to stay healthy? I don't know. If he is, and he's the Aaron Rodgers we expect, I'll give him a slight edge over the Seahawks. But my assumption is, at his age, coming off an Achilles, there might be some weeks off. It might not be the greatest situation. And Robert Saleh, I know he has been, since he was in San Francisco and he got that job in New York, he's supposed to be a phenomenal head coach. He hasn't necessarily proven it yet. There hasn't been phenomenal evidence behind that. You have the Eagles. I would say they're better than the Seahawks. The Steelers. Every sign in the world has pointed to Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson right now. And their backup is Justin Fields. Every sign has pointed to Geno Smith being better than Justin Fields. And that's why the Seahawks didn't trade for Justin Fields. That's why the Seahawks picked Geno Smith over Russell Wilson. I think they're going to be a good team. 8-9, 9-8. Like always with Mike Tomlin. But I think we could be the exact same level as them as well. You have the 49ers. They're better than us. The Titans and Washington Commanders are not better than us, and they're not better than us according to the power rankings. And the last team on this entire list was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I think, just like last year, we were both 9-8. We fell in the exact same spot. They were the last. I think they got the division. No, I can't remember if they got the division, but I think they did. But we were 9-8 with the Packers, Bengals, Colts, Jags, Saints, Seahawks, and Bucks. We're a 1-game difference from the Texans, Rams, and Steelers. So overall, when you break it all down, are we far away from those teams? Are people assuming that we're downgrading coaching wise? Because I think we're actually getting somebody that's going to fix our glaring hole. Now, Pete Carroll is obviously generationally one of the greatest coaches of all time, and he's better than Mike McDonald right now. But are we downgrading next year? The answer is no. And before I finish off this video, 2 things to plug. One, we are partnered with Underdog Fantasy. I know it's not legal in the state of Washington yet, but I also know I have a big audience that's not just in the state of Washington. There's people all around. It's legal in California, Texas, Arizona, many other states. It's available almost everywhere except for the state of Washington, of course. But if you use promo code ONTAP and you're a first-time user or depositor, they'll match you 50% up to $250. So if you put in $100, they'll match you $50 bonus on top of that. If you put in $10, they'll give you $5 for free. Using promo code ONTAP, it helps us grow our band and helps me grow and make more time to do more videos for you guys. So use Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code ONTAP, or use the link that's in my description below. And last but not least, SeattleOnTap.com. You can find all our merch there. We have new Mike McDonald shirts. We have old Pete Carroll shirts. We have Seattle shirts, Mariner stuff, Husky stuff. SeattleOnTap.com for our main brand. You know that brand. If you see it below, it's our podcast, and where we do Mariners, Seahawks, Sonics, everything, Huskies content. So follow that page and check out SeattleOnTap.com to support me, my brother, and our brand that we're building. I appreciate y'all. To the upgrade or downgrade, like I said, it is clearly an upgrade. And the reason it's an upgrade is I don't think the offense is going to be this much better or this much worse. It is going to be roughly the same that it's been. It's going to potentially improve if the staff around it is better, but it's going to be roughly what it's been. We have Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Geno Smith, and DK Metcalf, and we have Kenneth Walker, and we have Kenny McIntosh, and you got Charbonnet, and you have a offense that's being pieced together with Noah Fant and Farrell Brown, and the offensive line. Christian Hayes coming in. He's going to be, I think, an immediate impact at the offensive line. There's pieces everywhere. The offense should be fine the way it's been. It's been fine. I think it's been actually slightly below what it could be, but it's been fine. But the biggest problem we've had over the last few years is defensively. So if anything, bringing in somebody with a new, fresh mind defensively in Mike McDonald, with all due respect to Pete Carroll, who, like I said, is the best coach in Seattle sports history, probably because he brought us a Super Bowl, and probably a top 5 or 6 coach all time in football. He's one of 3 guys to ever win a national championship and a Super Bowl. But Mike McDonald went to Michigan and helped Jim Harbaugh turn Michigan's program into a really bad defensive program into a very good one. I know he left, but he played a big part in who he recruited and the schemes he put in for them winning a national championship. He went to Baltimore. You had guys like Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen and different things. Guys like Patrick Queen was considered a bust. He came in and churned everybody up another level. He turned a lot of guys from good players to all pros, to Pro Bowlers, to new contracts. He's that good. They killed the Seahawks 37-3 last year, and John Schneider continually has said that game told me if we're looking for a new coach, I want that guy. So yes, you can boost the defense from what it was, even though you're losing Pete Carroll and adding a young coach. The Seahawks can sit at 9 or 10 wins next year, and I think that's very clear. And if they do, they're not the 21st best team in football. There aren't 20 teams better than them. Now, did I say they're going to be a top 5 team? I don't think so. I think our division's hard. I think the 49ers still have an edge. I think the Rams are probably right there, same with us. And I think the Cardinals might be a little better than some people think, but we're better than them. But at the end of the day, the Seahawks can win 9 or 10 games. There's a chance they make the playoffs. And there's a really strong chance that there is not 20 teams that are better. Respectfully, the person who wrote this on Yahoo put us at the top of the bottom worst teams, but we probably should be in a different tier. We should probably be closer to the top of that second tier of teams, on top of teams like the Colts, Jags, Buccaneers, range. I think that would be a little more fair, in my humble opinion. Now, I would love for you guys to comment below what you would like to see next. I'm going to be starting to pump out a little more Seahawks content and maybe some other NFL content or NBA content, whatever it is as well. I'll probably do 2 or 3 days a week Seahawks videos, and maybe 1 day a week experiment with some more interesting long form or story type of long form. So please, in the comments, let me know what you want to see below, and I'll do my best to get to all the comments and make those videos. But in the meantime, like and subscribe. And like I said, comment what you want to see next. I love y'all. I'm Sammy ONTAP. As I said before, check out Underdog Fantasy, check out SeattleOnTap.com, or check out the links in my description to see all the channels that we got going here in our company. I love y'all, and we'll see you next time. Peace.